Hey, YouTube! What have I got here? Finally, after 4 months of waiting, the orange Super Crush 100 head. Alright, we're going to switch this bugger on, go through some tones, and have a bit of fun, I suppose, and get to my conclusions at the end. A little tip, because this had me confused at the start, and I was like, this is a piece of shit, what the hell's going on? Don't approach this amp like other amps. You know how you dial in the channel volume and the master volume sort of, halfway or below, and you expect it to be really loud? On normal amps, I might chuck the master, on about 3 or 4 or something. Turn the channel volume up about less than halfway, and it's loud as hell. It's not very loud in the room, believe me. So you've got to crank one or the other. I prefer to crank the master up at least 3/4 or more, and then you just dial in the volume that you want using the channel volume. Then it gets loud as hell. Bit of clean first. Let's get it over and done with. So as you can tell, really nice clean tones on this thing. Can't complain about that. Fucked up, Caddy. You fucked up again. If you come for the clean tones, you got the wrong channel anyway. Whew, working up a sweat. Don't put drinks on top of the fucking amplifier, Caddy. Fuck off. Dirt. Just sweeping the EQ. All on 0. Actually, I didn't sweep the gain down. There we go. without reverb, with a touch of reverb, more reverb, noon reverb, full ball reverb. Gets ridiculous at that point. Too much reverb, caddy. Like 1 notch is okay. 1.5. I like that. Bit of dirt. We need more dirt. Ah, now it's starting to break up. Not until you get about halfway with the game that it starts to break up nicely. Halfway. AC/DC territory, I think. The EQ is on 9 o'clock. Here's some more brightness with this. Treble, noon. Bring the mids up. Bass up to noon. Treble up to 9. It's a very dark sounding amp. You got to bring the treble right up, full ball, for my liking. Let's put all the EQ up at 9 o'clock. Okay, now the setting that I like. Treble, full ball, mids at noon, bass at noon. Bit more gain, hey? As you push the gain more, the volume really increases. Now we're getting to heavy rock territory. can see, pretty fucking awesome rock and roll tone. Does cleans very well, does bluesy tones really well, does classic rock really well, does heavy rock really well. Does it do metal really well? One way to find out. Crank that gain all the way up. Now straight away, out of the box, just with the amp head and the cabinet, it hasn't got enough balls to be a metal amp. You have to give it some extra help for that. Which is why I got the TS9 overdrive here, to push it along a little bit. But I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube with guys claiming that out of the box, this is a very good amp for metal. You fucking liars. I do love this amp, but it wouldn't be on my shopping list if I was predominantly a metal player. You're going to be far better served with something like an EVH 5150. It can do metal, sure, but you have to give it some extra help. Because that's as saturated and as gainy as this amp gets, without help. It's okay, but it doesn't hold a candle to a 5150 EVH, Iconic, or any other high gain amp that I've played. Not even to my old school Rambles, nowhere near. But with some trickery, we can get there, maybe. That's definitely a lot better. There's more saturation happening there. A lot more chuggy. A little bit more brighter too. Alright. I can't be fucked putting a noise gate in there. Fuck you. Love ya. A lot of noise going on. Should I back off the gain a little bit? It's a bit ridiculous maybe. Let's try that. Bit tighter, more clean. Well, what can I say, folks? I'd say it's a darkish amp. I mean, I have to play with the treble on full ball for it to sound pretty decent, and even that kind of isn't enough. I like to make it brighter. You can chuck an effects loop in the EQ pedal. I was about to say, I've only had 2 of these. What the hell? You can chuck a EQ pedal in the effects loop, and you can bring up the highs if you want, and that will sort that problem out. I mean, it doesn't sound bad. It sounds pretty decent. But yeah, the treble has to be cranked all the way up. And for playing metal tones, the gain has to be cranked pretty much all the way up. If you're going to have a overdrive pedal, maybe back it off a little bit, and it sounds pretty chunky. Out of the box, this amp head is not good for metal, but it's brilliant for cleans, bluesy tones, rock and roll, classic rock, heavy rock. But yeah, like I said, you have to give it an extra helping hand if you want to chug the hell out of it and play metal tones with an overdrive, and maybe even an EQ pedal, if you want to absolutely make it brutal. But hey, what did this amp cost me? $879 Australian, whatever that is in American. Must be about, I don't know, 550, 600 American, something like that. It's well worth it. It's a bloody awesome amp. Oh, and by the way, I've tested out a couple of my channel switches and it works fine with that one. The ones with the jack input plug. Let's have a quick look at the back panel, shall we? Alright, here you go. DI out, I haven't used that yet. Cab simulator. Apparently it's not that great, but I haven't used it and I probably won't ever use it. I don't know. Effects loop, send and return. Channel switcher, works fine. There's even an input for turning the reverb on and off. Right. Obviously your speaker outputs, it's a bit confusing at first because it says 1 times 8 ohms or 1 times 16 ohms or 2 times 16. I thought it meant like speakers, like 1 times 8 ohm speaker or a 1 times 16 ohm speaker. No, it actually means, I think, 1 cabinet at 8 ohms, or you can put it in a cabinet, 1 cabinet at 16 ohms, or 2 times 16 ohm cabinets, which would bring it down to 8 ohms. So this amp head is capable of 8 ohms and 16 ohms. Front panel, obviously on and off, clean and dirt. So that will be master volume, that's the spring reverb, channel volume, your treble, your mids, your bass, your gain, and this is for the clean channel. So clean treble, clean channel bass, and the volume for the clean channel. So I'm pretty damn happy with this amp, but like I said, if you're a metal guy predominantly playing metal, probably not the right amp for you. For $200 extra, that's Australian. You might as well go for the EVH 5150 Iconic. It's way better for metal. Much more gain on tap, much more saturation, much more sensitive EQ controls. This excels at everything except metal unless you give it help with overdrive and maybe an EQ as well. But I didn't use an EQ for this one, but it sounded fine. But the tone is sort of, it's got that distinct sort of orange tone where they've got this sort of, I wouldn't say muddy, but sort of dark sort of tone with some slight fuzzy overlay. And even when you're playing on the bridge humbucker, even with high gain sort of settings, it sort of sounds like you're playing with the tone set with both humbuckers active at the same time, instead of the bridge humbucker like in the middle where both humbuckers are active at the same time. Sort of makes it sound like that. I'm not saying it's the bad thing, I'm just saying it's very distinct. Well, that's about it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please thumbs up and subscribe. Comment down below if you've got any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Got it for my collection. I'm happy. I've got lots more amps to review in the near future. You might have noticed I deleted a lot of my videos because I wasn't happy with the quality. I'm trying to improve things, improve lighting, improve the quality of my videos and the sound and all that. So I wasn't happy with a lot of my old videos, so I deleted the fuckers. So I'm going to start fresh and review all these amps. Yeah, from the beginning. So plenty of content coming. Enjoy your weekend.
Girls.
Have a good one, guys. And gals.